I trusted you, so why did you betray me?
Jim never believed betrayal would come from the two people he trusted most. To him, trust wasn't something you handed out lightly. It was earned over time, through consistency, sacrifice, and shared history. Jim had built his life on that principle, and it showed in everything he did. In his late 30s, he was a self-made businessman, quiet by nature, deeply focused, and generous to efforts. He didn't chase attention or validation. He believed that if you worked hard enough, stayed honest, and treated people well, life would eventually reward you. And for a long time, it had. Years of discipline, long nights, and risky decisions had paid off. Jim owned a beautiful home in a quiet neighborhood where nothing ever seemed to go wrong. His investment portfolio was steadily growing, a result of patience rather than luck. He drove a modest car, wore simple clothes, and lived well below his means, not because he had to, but because that was who he was. Jim believed wealth was meant to provide security, not superiority. But despite everything he had built, Jim never measured his success by numbers on a screen or titles on paper. His greatest pride wasn't his money, it was his wife, Lena. Lena had been by his side long before the success. They met when Jim was still finding his footing, still figuring out who he wanted to be. She was charming, intelligent, and effortlessly warm, the kind of woman who made people feel comfortable the moment she entered a room. She knew how to listen, how to smile at the right moments, and how to make Jim feel like he was enough, even on his worst days. When Jim worked late, Lena never complained. When stress weighed him down, she reassured him. When others doubted him, she stood firm in her support. At least, that was what Jim believed. To him, Lena wasn't just his wife, she was his partner, his safe place, the person who knew him better than anyone else in the world. He trusted her with everything, his fears, his plans, his finances, and his future. In Jim's mind, there was no version of reality where Lena could ever turn against him. And then there was Mark. Mark had been Jim's best friend since college, back when they were both broke, ambitious, and chasing dreams they barely understood. They had slept on cheap mattresses, eaten instant noodles, and talked endlessly about the kind of lives they wanted one day. When Jim failed, Mark was there. When Mark struggled, Jim stepped in without hesitation. Their friendship had survived distance, time, and change. Mark was the kind of friend who knew Jim's habits better than Jim himself. He knew how Jim took his coffee, how he paced when thinking, how he avoided confrontation even when he was clearly right. He had been present for the milestone, Jim's first business deal, his wedding,